You guys, I've been trying. There's a weapon that I've been looking to buy, been trying to buy for, oh, I'd say about at least 2.5 months now. The first time I came in there to buy this weapon at this store, they were telling me if you had a handgun license, you didn't have to do the background check. They told me but I needed to have a copy of my I have a lifetime license out of Indiana, but they told me I had to be able to show it to them, and I given my license, my handgun license, to a cop, and somewhere along the line never got it back. I got my driver's license back, but I didn't get my handgun license back, and I finally figured that out about probably about a year ago that I didn't have a copy of it on me. I'm still covered by it. I just didn't have a copy in my wallet. Uh, so it took, once I figured out I didn't have a copy, I went ahead and filed for it. It took them 6 months. Indiana, the state of Indiana, that I already had this license with for years. It took them 6 months to give me a duplicate copy of my handgun license, my CCW. I can carry concealed, I can carry out in the open, I can carry it any damn way I want to carry it. And it's lifetime. Lifetime. Now with Indiana, it is backed by, it's either 23, 25, or 27 other states. I'm going to hit. I'm going to go with 25. I think it's 25 other states back Indiana's handgun license, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good because there ain't nobody that no states, all of them back one state license. None of them do that. So to have there are states that back more than Indiana's handgun license is backed by, but it's pretty much the biggest one. I think the one that backs that's backed by the most states, I believe, is Virginia. But I lived in Indiana, so I got the Indiana one. And now this gun I'm trying to buy, it's, it's in a pawn shop. The reason why I want it so bad, and I'll once I get it, and I will get it. Uh, Once I get it, I got another barrel that fits on it, and where I can use it for. I can put the long. I got a long barrel that I can put on it where I can use it for deer hunting or uh, turkey hunting, something like that. Or I can take that big long barrel off and put the 18-inch barrel on it and use it for home protection. I already have the long barrel and other parts for that exact gun. So, like I said, this gun's in a pawn shop. It's called Cashland. And by no means would I want you to call them or talk to them in any way uh, or tell them to give Watachi his gun, his shotgun. But they're called Cashland, and I think their address, I'm not really for sure. Maybe you could look it up here in Youngstown, Ohio, 44502. But I think it's like 1100 East Midlothian Boulevard. Phone number being 330-788-7003. Cashland Pawn Shop. Now, this pawn shop, just told you what I went through with the state of Indiana, just duplicating my lifetime license that I have had for years, taking 6 months. They just got that done, like within the last month. I just got it back, where I got a copy of it in my wallet now. I did a video and showed it to everybody. This pawn shop states if you have a CCW, you don't have to do the background check to buy a weapon. Perfect. I've carried a CCW. Oh, it's got to be about at least 6, 7 years now. I've had a CCW, lifetime CCW. CCW, carry concealed weapons. Not just guns, folks. Not just guns. This pawn shop, the first time I went in there, and this was like about 2.5 months ago. That's all they had, and I really, really liked the price. Really liked the price. It looks like because I know I picked it up and handled it, looked it over inside and out. Doesn't even look like it's ever been fired. 12 gauge shotgun. Now, let me tell you something, folks. When Obama was president and Mr. President of today was vice president, he said something at that time that I fully 100% agreed with. That's about the only damn thing I've ever heard him say that I have 100% fully agreed with. Now, let me tell you what that was. He, as vice president, was calling a armor light rifle, that's an AR-15, armor light rifle 15, an assault weapon, saying that the AR stands for assault rifle, not armor light rifle, the maker of the rifle, claiming it's a wartime rifle that is a 22 caliber, folks. A AR-15 shoots a 22 bullet. Now it has a massive amount of gunpowder behind it, shooting it, but it's still a 22 caliber bullet. Now they got some 22 shorts that shoots a 22 bullet that'll kill you. My wife called me. Anyway, there is no soldier anywhere on the earth that would take an AR, an armor light rifle, into combat. It is a semi-automatic 22 rifle. I would take a Mossberg 12 gauge pump into combat over an AR-15. There is no way anybody ever can say that an AR-15 is a military weapon. It only looks like a military weapon. It is nowhere near a military weapon. If it was, then it's outlawed because M16 that is based under the same AR platform One is the military style platform, and the other one, the AR, is the civilian. The M16 is the military weapon. The AR 15 is the civilian semi automatic weapon. The M16 is a fully automatic. It goes, you pull the trigger once and it empties your magazine. Or you can set it on 3-round bursts. You cannot do either of those things with an AR armor light rifle, AR 15. You cannot do anything other than semi automatic. Now, I've talked about that because I told you I agreed with something Biden said while he was vice president. Uh, he said, you don't need an AR 15, folks. Get a shotgun. If you're talking, now he was talking about for home protection. And that's how he said it. For home protection, folks, you don't need an AR 15 assault rifle. Get a shotgun. Now, I'm sure he was talking about a single shot, reload every shot shotgun, and not the 12 gauge shotguns that I know about. I'm sure he was not talking about the 12 gauge shotguns that I know about, because I totally agree with him on that. If you're talking home protection, 12 gauge shotgun, even a 10-year-old kid can be a hero, even against AR 15s. Now, when I'm talking shotguns, I don't give a shit if you want to talk about a Mossberg pump. I'll take a Mossberg pump into battle before I take an AR 15. Because, see, folks, I run on my 12 gauge shotguns, I run double aught buck and 1 ounce rifle deer slugs. One and the other, one the other. One's going to be 1 ounce slug coming at you. The next shot's going to be 9 rounds coming at you of about a 38. 38 rounds coming at you on my second shot. Then you're going to hit the slug again, then back to the buckshot, then back to the slug, then back to the buckshot. That's what I use for home protection. Folks, a Saiga 12 gauge, semi-automatic, Russian made, same guy that designed the AK-47 designed this 12 gauge shotgun. Now, Russia has a much better one, has no kick. You can shoot 2 of these 12 gauge shotguns, 1 in each arm, with there's no kick to them. But this one, there's kick to. The Saiga 12 gauge semi-automatic shotgun, which is my favorite. You can get them with 20 and 30 round drum magazines. They're magazine fed. I had 5 round magazines, I had 10 round magazines, and I had 20 round drums. Every other one's a slug or double aught buck. People I had where I grabbed my forward grip on this shotgun and I could kick on either a strobe light, bright as fuck strobe light to blind the hell out of you with if it was dark out and I was coming up on you. The flashlight, or I squeeze one part of it and my red dot scope come on. And then I just put my dot where I want the plug or the shells to go. Damn shirt. Home protection. Now, the government, according to this pawn shop that I'm trying to buy this gun from, after taking 6 months to get the Indiana state to give me a duplicate of my gun license, thinking, well, how much more background checking can they do on me? After going through the case that I went through here in this county, I just got off of probation this month, or last month, on the 19th of last month. In the time this town started trying to find out who I was, running my background, once they got my social security number and was able to run my background, this county and everybody around here knows my background. They've run it many times. My federal background check, folks, they've run it many times in the last year. I guarantee, in the last 2 years, I guarantee it. My federal, I'm talking, they go worldwide on that one. That's been run on me many times. Out in Arizona, folks, that was back when Joe Arpaio was sheriff of Maricopa County. He didn't like me much. This is all public record, folks. A lot of this shit I tell you about the courts and shit, it's all public record, folks. Every damn bit of it's public record. I fucking had a Arizona license, and I left there and moved back to Tennessee. Me and my family moved back to Tennessee for 2 or 3 or 4 years. Or moved to Tennessee for 2 or 3, 4 years. It was back for me, first time for them. And then we ended up moving back out to Arizona because that's where my parents were. So we ended up moving out to Tennessee and then back to Arizona. Now, by the time I left Arizona, I pissed off a lot of people in the government. And then I left. I was gone for 5 years, anywhere from 3 to 5 years it was. And then I come back. Well, I turn in my Tennessee driver's license, my legal Tennessee driver's license, because I moved there. I turned it in to get my Arizona license back and did everything they wanted me to do. They gave me my license, my Arizona license back. Well, these 2 cops, one time I bought a brand new shotgun, and I went over and got my brother-in-law, and all you had to do out there is just drive out into the desert, folks, and you can go shoot shotguns or whatever you want, blow shit up. You didn't have to drive real far. So I went and picked up my brother-in-law. I wanted to go shoot this new shotgun. I took it out in the desert. And we, on the way out, we saw this fucking sheriff deputy writing tickets on people. And I told my brother-in-law, oh, shit. I said, remind me that son of a bitch sitting in this corner here when we come out of here. He's just trapping people. And so sure enough, we come out, both of us. Hey, remember that cop's up there? We both remembered. And as we came around through there, some bitch pulled us over. Now, I started getting a little mouthy with him. I said I wasn't speeding. Even my brother-in-law, as soon as we saw that, my brother-in-law looked at my speedometer, and I wasn't speeding. And he goes, man, you're not speeding. And as we went by, he flipped out, came around behind us, pulled us over, said we were doing 50 and a 45. Or 55 and a 45. I beat that case in court. Me and my brother-in-law, I took him in. I played the lawyer, and I even put my brother-in-law on in the witness stand and questioned him. And I won that case against the cop. I beat him. him and his partner were in the courtroom and they didn't like it. Well, when we were walking out of there, they decided they were going to have a conversation with me out in the park or out in the hallway outside of the judge's ear. Well, me and my brother-in-law's walking out of that courtroom, they start fucking saying something, and I said something to them, and then they jumped. Oh, they jumped all over me. They were yelling and shit, and the judge heard it, and he shut his courtroom down. He told the bailiff, get everybody out. This courtroom shut down. He came out there in the hallway, and he ran those two cops out of his courtroom. He ran them out. I told my brother-in-law, I said, them motherfuckers sitting down the road somewhere, they're going to, as soon as we get out, we're going to be found shot to death or something, you know. Me and him's laughing about it. And so we leave. Now, over the next period of time, all of a sudden, I'm getting pulled over. Don't even know why they pull me over. They take my driver's license. I got an Arizona driver. I give it to them. First time, cop comes back. He goes, sir, the computer says you're driving on a canceled out-of-state driver's license. So I'm going to keep your driver's license. But I'm not going to write, and I'm going to write you a ticket for it. But a canceled out-of-state what driver's license is that? They go, it says Tennessee. I said, didn't I just hand you an Arizona state driver's license? And he goes, yeah. And I go, and you're telling me I'm driving on a canceled out-of-state Tennessee driver's license, according to the computer. You're not going by the actual license that I've actually handed you. You're going by what the computer's telling you. He was, yeah. But he let me go. He gave me the ticket and let me go. I didn't have a driver's license then, or it was a female. She calls me up in a little bit and tells me, I'm sorry, Mr. Grooms, I was wrong. If you'll come down to the such and such sheriff's department, we'll give your driver's license back to you. It's laying right here. Just tell them who you are. They'll give it to you. I said, all right. So I went down there and got it. No biggie. Mistakes are made. No biggie. I got it back. 7 other times other than that, I got pulled over, told the same thing. Now, I'm handing them the Arizona license, and they're telling me they're keeping my license, and they're giving me a ticket for driving on a canceled out-of-state driver's license, even though I handed them an Arizona driver's license, and I live in Arizona. And they explained to me, yes, they know that, but the computer, when they run my license, it says that I'm driving on a canceled Tennessee driver's license. Now, the reason I say this happened 7 times is because I went in front of the same judge 7 times for the same ticket. And I think it was over about a 2 or 3 month period. Now, the first time I went in, I showed everything to the judge, and the judge said, oh, there must be some kind of a screw up. He dismissed charges and told the DMV to give me my driver's license, a copy of my license back. Went down and got it. A few days later, I get pulled over. They'd take that damn thing, write me a ticket for driving on a canceled out-of-state driver's license, Tennessee driver's license. 7 times in front of the same judge. Well, the 7th time that I went in front of this judge, he sees me sitting in the courtroom with other people, and he goes, Mr. Grooms, he goes, you're not here for the same thing again, are you? I said, oh, yeah. He goes, bailiff, shut down the courtroom. I'm calling a recess. Mr. Grooms, follow me to my chambers. I said, all right. We go to his chambers. He calls the DMB, or it was BMB out there. He calls them personally on his office phone. He tells them who he is. And he tells them that I've been brought in front of him 7 times. And all 7 times the charges have had to be dropped because there is no leg to stand, no, nothing he's done wrong. He said, if you, the BNB, does not fix this today, right now, and this man comes before me again, I'm going to help him in the lawsuit against you. That's what it took to get that fixed, where they stopped doing that shit to me. Today they're playing this game. Now out in Arizona, folks, in Indiana, I worked for the government for about 7 to 9 years, somewhere around that, somewhere in between 7 to 9 years. Had so many fingerprintings done. I'm talking federal background checks done on me. Contracts change hand. I still had to go back through these background checks again, see if there's any new shit. I was probed by every end. Out in Arizona, I was hired for to be bodyguards for actually the employees of this business. It was 3 to 4 people at any given time. I was registered through the Mesa Police Department and the Pawn Division because it was a pawn shop that I was hired to protect. The gang members were going in, and I'm talking Mexican gang members, Sietas. There's a few of them down there. I can't even remember all the names. But they were coming in, killing everybody in these pawn shops and taking gold, diamonds, and cash and guns. Because the pawn shops were gun shops and jewelry stores, folks, and cash stores. But I was registered through the PD, Mesa PD, back then to be an armed bodyguard for these people. I went through all this background checks for years. Every time I've ever bought a gun, through a pawn shop or through a gun store of any kind, I could never buy it and walk away from it with it in my hand that day. Never. I've never been able to do that. It used to be there was a 3-day hold they always put on me. They held me the whole 3 days. Every gun I ever bought where the government knew I bought it, I was never just given the gun, walked away with it. Given the money, given the gun, and walked away. They've always held it on me. With everything that's going on, Ohio's became supposedly a constitutional carry state. And I go down here to buy a gun. I have a handgun license that is backed by the state of Ohio. This pawn shop, Cashland, states that if you have a handgun license, then they will, you don't even have to do the background check. But because I've pissed off so many people around here in the 4 years I've been here, I still have people that don't like me. Well, he decides I hand him my handgun license that I've had for years. And he says, oh, this is Indiana. Ohio doesn't accept Indiana handgun license. I said, you're full of shit. You're lying. You're lying. I know for a fact. I said, I can go over here. I can bring a whole damn Boardman Township Police Department over here to prove you wrong on that. Finally, he admitted, no, it was their policy, supposedly. Their policy. So their policy can trump state background check policy and federal policy. Their policies can trump both. So they can pick and choose in there who they sell guns to and who they don't. And with these computers today, folks, all they got to do is kick up your driver's license. They know more about you than they ever did. So, I guess they told me I was delayed. They refused to take my handgun license because they claimed their store policy doesn't allow that. That I have to have an Ohio only handgun license. And they told me it would be the 19th. Either the 19th is when the time runs out, but the government has put a hold on me having the gun in my the weapon in my possession until the 19th. Now, if the government calls them back and clears it before then they'll give it to me sooner. But if not, then it'll be the 19th. Today's the 11th. So that's 8 days now. It used to be 3 days. Now it's 8 days. And how am I to know who's doing what? I can't see what's going on that computer, folks. Is the store guy fucking with me and using the law to violate my rights? I don't know. Does anybody give a fuck? No. Other than me. So it ain't never gonna get fixed. But I'm gonna do another video once I get this gun in my hand. Because I won't get it done before I just totally trash this store. But when I go in to get it, I'm going to be wearing a camera. And then I'm going to put that video out too. Now, I also have a channel called Boardman Township, Ohio. And that's where we're at. That's where, guarantee you, my videos are going to land for sure. Because, see, people around here, they won't subscribe to it, but they watch every video I put on it. God loves you, folks. So do I. I asked this guy. He kept fucking claiming he wasn't doing nothing to me. I said, all right. Let me ask you, what happened to the Second Amendment? And he goes, well, you're going to have to take that up with your congressman. You're going to have to get a hold of your congressman and talk to him about that. And I looked at him and I said, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. You just pointed out the people who destroyed the Second Amendment and put all these infringements on it. That it's taken me this long. I've been working on trying to get this gun for 3 months and can't get it. In Ohio, constitutional carry state, 60 years old, no criminal background. Keep voting. That'll fix everything. Pick the lesser of two evils. That's how you've won up till now. Continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. That's the definition of insanity. God loves you. So do I. I'll have it on the 19th. And we'll go from there. I love shotguns, folks. Have a good one.